somewhere along the way, the Expedition was left on the side of the road. It's not clear exactly when it stopped being a class leader, but ditching the V8 in 2015 wasn't enough to move the needle. That changes now. Its platform mate, the Lincoln Navigator, either dethroned or is a very serious competitor to the Cadillac Escalade, depending on your perspective and prejudices. That it's seriously mentioned in the same breath as that wildly successful luxury SUV is a big, huge leap forward. Rather than reinvent the Expedition and Navigator entirely, Ford dug deep and built the big SUV it should have all along. Instead of a few distinct advantages lost in a sea of mediocrity, the entire vehicle is on par with or better than the GMT2K platform trucks from GM. Beyond the independent rear suspension, which helps with dynamics as well as rear cargo floor flatness, and the Whiz EcoBoost V6 with best-in-class theoretical fuel economy, there's a lightweight aluminum body perched on top of a traditional steel ladder frame. Depending on trim and configuration, it's up to 300 pounds lighter than its predecessor. It's also immense, especially in max long wheelbase form. The Expedition looks imposing, but it's also one of the cleanest interpretations of Ford's new truck styling language. In particular, the monolithic headlight grille bar looks upscale but is a simpler shape than the facelifted 2018 F-150S, which looks like it ran into a couple of chrome cow bars on the way to the ranch. There's not much going on in the profile. The first adjective that comes to mind is suburbanish, and imitation is flattery, and the rear is indifferently attractive. What's more important is the overall effect. This is something you'd be okay leaving with the valet. The valet might not even stuff it behind the hotel. Inside, things are much more dramatic. It's no new Navigator, sure, the interior of which is like 2017 as imagined in 1967, but it's a sea change compared to the old Expedition's menagerie of hard plastic shapes, textures, and colors, all slightly nasty looking, and everywhere. So too with its design. Where bulkiness had awkwardly stood in for handsome chunkiness, we now have something that's befitting of a present-day Ford. The hard plastics, while still present, at least recede into the background, overpowered by the extra bold back vents and array of colors. Our tester had wood veneer on the center console, cream-colored upholstery and trim, silver-colored plastic, dark soft dash covering, and dark hard smooth plastic, depending on where you looked. Still busy, but much nicer, although there's maybe a bit too much visible plastic in an SUV that can easily top $70,000. The engine, while not new, has been improved, with more power and torque available in the Platinum trim. For those keeping score at home, the lower output EcoBoost makes a healthy 375 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque, and feels exactly as satisfying as a V8 making similar power. There's torque everywhere, very little lag, and it even sounds kind of okay. The Platinum version makes 400 horsepower and 480 pounds-to-foot. Both are well north of the old Expedition's EcoBoost V6, which merely made 365 horsepower and 420 pounds-to-foot, and both new engines trounce the Suburban's 5.3-liter V8, which is good for 355 horsepower and 383 pounds-to-foot of torque, particularly in terms of twist.